So much attention now on the West Memphis Three. You may recall these are the men who spent half their lives locked up for the murders of 3 Cub Scouts in 1993. They have maintained they did not commit those murders.
This Saturday, 48 Hours Mystery takes a close-up look at the release last month. In their first TV interviews, 2 of the men spoke to 48 Hours correspondent Darren about their ordeal and their first weeks of freedom.
The first thing I did, I just smiled and got like 1,000 hugs. I smiled so much that my face actually hurt. It just felt like everything was right. Like, here's the time to begin.
Jason Baldwin is beginning his life at age 34, doing the kinds of simple things most of us take for granted. On August 19th, as part of a rarely used plea agreement, Jason, Damian Echols, and Jesse Kelly were suddenly and shockingly released from the Arkansas prisons where they had spent the last 18 years. Damian had been on death row.
I've been in solitary confinement by that point for almost 10 years. I hadn't had sunlight in almost a decade. I was eating garbage. I was under stress that most human beings will never even be able to comprehend.
What made the release so shocking is that these men, known as the West Memphis Three, had been convicted of one of the most heinous crimes in state history, the killing of 3 8-year-old boys in 1993.
The little boys were found in a drainage ditch, mutilated and beaten to death.
Yet almost from the beginning, there were questions about their guilt. There was no physical evidence tying them to the crime. Jason, just 16 at the time, was offered a deal, 5 years in exchange for his testimony against his best friend, Damian Echols. He refused.
I'd be guilty of murdering Damian, because that's what it would have done. It would have put him on death row.
A jury sent Damian to death row anyway.
Damian Echols shall be sentenced to death by lethal injection.
But recently, newly discovered evidence not only supports the innocence of the 3 convicted men, some DNA actually points to other people. Last month, the state agreed to release the men, but the deal, known as an Alford plea, required all 3 of them to do what they had always refused to do: plead guilty.
To me, this just seemed like a cheap way for the state to save face.
Once again, Jason turned down a deal.
I told him I would not accept the plea because it's wrong. Anybody logical and reasonable and unbiased can look at it and realize that they had the wrong guys.
But after supporters,
there's a further tragedy happening,
including musician Eddie Vedder, begged him to save Damian Echols, Jason again stepped up for his friend.
If I took this deal, it would guarantee his life being saved this time. So I took the deal. No regrets now. I'm living a great life. I'm free for the first time ever.
Erin Moriarty, CBS News.